Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching, email coaching, small group coaching, as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, we're going to talk about messing with the middle. This is a concept that if you've been in the manifesting community, you will surely have heard it. You might be confused as to what it actually means and what it actually refers to. So today I want to explain what it is, what it isn't, and how to know if you're trying to mess with the middle in your manifestation. And finally, how to stop yourself from messing with the middle. So this is what I'll be discussing in today's video. Stay tuned. So, because there seems to be a lot of confusion, first let us start with what messing in the middle is not. A lot of people, and unfortunately some coaches too, tend to confuse messing with the middle with manifesting in steps. These are two very different things. Obviously, manifesting in steps is not today's video topic, so I'm going to very briefly explain what it is. I've explained it in other videos too. But essentially, what it means to manifest in steps is that instead of going straight to the end with your desire, with your manifestation, let's say you want a specific person and eventually you want to be married to them, but for whatever reason you have a lot of resistance to that desire manifesting, what you can do instead is go in steps and start intending first that you get communication. Then that becomes consistent communication. Once that is achieved, then maybe you manifest consistent dating. Once that is achieved, maybe you manifest moving in together, and so on and so forth until you get to the final goal, quote unquote, which is marriage with your specific person. That is manifesting in steps, and each of these steps is actually its own end result. Each of these steps is actually its own end state. So this is not messing with the middle. If you're having a lot of resistance towards your end desire, then manifesting in steps can be an excellent way to overcome that resistance. So I'm going to stop here with the manifesting in steps. The only reason I mentioned it was to explain that this is not the same thing as messing with the middle. So then what is messing with the middle? To put it very simply and to explain it very simply, messing with the middle just means that you don't trust the process, that you are trying to use your mind to determine how things are going to unfold or how things should unfold, or trying to impose your own ideas on very, very specific outcomes. And I'm going to give an example of that in a moment. And essentially it means that you're in your head and you're trying to use your mind, your rational mind, to determine how things are going to unfold. An example of that would be, let's say you're manifesting reconnecting with your specific person, okay? And I use this example because I know a lot of you guys are manifesting specific people. So let's say you're wanting to reconnect with your specific person. That is your end goal. That is your manifestation. And then you start thinking, okay, how is this going to happen? Let's say you've had a fight and you're non-talking terms. So perhaps you start thinking, okay, I want them to come in front of my house and I want them to bring me flowers and I want them to go on one knee and apologize to me. And this is how it's supposed to be. And this is how we're going to reconnect. And this is how we're going to get back together. Now that is messing with the middle. And the reason it's messing with the middle and the reason it's different to manifesting in steps is because you are trying to dictate how things are. It's not just, oh, it would be nice if they showed up with flowers, which is a completely different thing. You are absolutely right in wanting to manifest that. And if that's an experience you want, go ahead and manifest it and intend for it to happen at some point. But what you're saying here with the messing with the middle is, because you've had a fight, the end outcome, the reconciliation, cannot come any other way, and I don't accept it to come any other way. For example, if my specific person texts me, that's not what I want, that's not good enough. If they call me instead of showing up on my doorstep, that's not good enough. If, say, they send a friend to talk to me on their behalf, then that's not good enough, that's not acceptable. So essentially, you're trying to control each and every step of the unfolding of the manifestation. This is messing with the middle, and this is purely a mental process. It's not a spiritual process. It's very different to setting an intention, saturating yourself with what you want, and allowing the outcome to happen. Allowing yourself, if you will, to be open, to be surprised to how it unfolds and how it develops and how it comes to you. And instead, you're attaching to one very, very specific outcome. Or for example, they have to call me this weekend. Or if it's my birthday, they have to wish me in a certain way. And if they wish me any other way, I don't like that. That means my manifestation has failed. Messing with the middle is trying to use your mind to interfere in a process that is actually highly spiritual. Trying to detail and control every possible detail of how something unfolds, how something comes to you. Not only does it limit you, because there are literally infinite ways in which something can happen, and actually the best manifestations happen in ways that you didn't even imagine. And usually they happen when you least expect them. So immediately then, you're putting yourself in a position of resistance because you have dictated within yourself that this is the only acceptable outcome that I want. This is the only way that I'm going to accept for my manifestation to come to me. Or maybe, if it's not, this is the only way I accept it, it might be from a limited point of view, it might be from a limiting belief point of view, where you are telling yourself, this is the only way in which it can happen because of this and that circumstance. And it cannot happen any other way. So again, you're using your mind to solve what your mind perceives as a problem and to find solutions to that problem. You are conditioning your desire. It cannot happen any other way. It can only happen in this and this and this and this way, in this and this and that step, 1, 2, 3. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. It cannot happen. It's impossible to happen. Or maybe I don't accept it any other way. And this is very much limiting to yourself. This is very much controlling the process, which you don't want to do, because you want to stay in a receptive state. You want to stay in a state where you know things are happening. Messing with the middle and trying to dictate every little detail means the opposite. The story you're telling is, I don't believe it's going to happen. I don't believe it can happen. So I'm trying to put my mind to work to figure out how it can happen. So you're not showing trust in the process. You're not showing trust in the things to unfold. You're not showing trust in the law. You're not believing that things can unfold in any number of ways that probably haven't even crossed your mind. And then what happens is that you're not allowing things to take the path of least resistance. What is the path of least resistance? That is the easiest and most natural way for a manifestation to come into the 3D. Your higher self knows the means, knows the methods, knows the ways, knows the paths of least resistance through which your manifestation is going to come. So if you let it alone, if you allow it to actually unfold that path, to unfold those bridges and complete those bridges, and bring your manifestation to you through the path of least resistance, your manifestation is going to come much faster. On the contrary, when you're actually trying to dictate every little detail, what you're doing is that you are creating the need for a lot of additional bridges to happen. You are not necessarily taking the path of least resistance. You are taking a path that is however you have it in your mind. And so for that manifestation to materialize in the exact way in which you want it, you are creating the need for a lot of additional bridges, which can actually delay things. It can actually add time to your manifestation. It can also add a lot of frustration because when things don't unfold in the exact ways in which you expected them to, you are starting to question things. You are starting to question yourself and your skills as a manifestor. You are starting to question the law. You are starting to question, does this even work? Or is this even working for me? Maybe I'm a horrible manifestor. What am I doing wrong? Is there anything else I should be doing? No, when the only thing you should be doing is get yourself in a receptive state, be open to how things unfold, and try not to dictate every little detail. Allow things to unfold the way they unfold. Accept them the way they unfold. They are all bridges to bring you your manifestation. Don't try to influence the path of least resistance. If you try to influence the path, you are going to create most likely a much harder path, which is going to make it harder for your manifestation to come. It's going to delay your manifestation very likely. But at the very least, it's going to create a lot of frustration, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of hurt and pain, which at the end of the day, you don't need. It doesn't serve you. Your manifestation is going to come in the simplest, most natural, most normal way that matches your day-to-day life. That is the path of least resistance. So you don't want to try to interfere too much and cause potential resistance and cause the need for additional bridges to be formed and be completed for your manifestation to come. If you want certain experiences, for example, you want your SP to bring you flowers, you want your SP to send you a letter, to send you a card, you want your SP to show up on your doorstep, go ahead and imagine that. But imagine that from a more detached state, a state of, wouldn't it be nice if that happened? I would love it if it would happen. And just saturate yourself with that experience. Saturate your mind and feel and embody that whole experience and feel how nice it would feel. At the same time though, if your manifestation doesn't happen exactly the way you thought it would, don't fret. It's still here, it's still happening. It has still happened. So the whole messing with the middle thing is essentially attaching too much to specific details. Trying to dictate too much how exactly the unfolding of the manifestation is going to happen. And having an expectation and a mental and emotional attachment to that specific outcome. And then when it doesn't happen, you freak out, you get frustrated, you get upset, and you start worrying and you start wondering, why didn't it happen? I intended for it. So that's why as coaches advise you to detach from the middle, be in a receptive state, be in an open state, and allow your manifestation to unfold. Trust the unfolding. Trust that it's going to unfold in the most perfect way at the most perfect time. Trust that you don't need to put your input in every single detail, every little minute, every little hour, every little day until your manifestation comes. And let it happen and live your life in between, assuming that it's going to happen, expecting it to happen, preparing for it, if you will, to happen. But don't try to dictate every little detail. Allow yourself to be surprised. Allow yourself to be open to how things happen. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.